fear is always a message, and it's a powerful message and a power we can harness. Because you might think, even though you might think there's two types of fear, like, oh, there's the real fear where, like, yeah, actually my life is threatened, and then there's the mental fear where it's like we fear the unknown or something like speaking in public or whatever, and we know we're not actually in danger, so we think we just have to ignore the fear or push past it or whatever. But it's really all the same. Like, the fear where we're actually in danger is a power. Like, it powers us to run away, which is a good thing, like in that situation, or to fight, and to know really quickly which one to do. Like, there's not always much point in fighting if you can run away and be safe that way. And so fear is always that message, and it's powerful. That's why it gives us such like a bodily feeling. It is encompassing all of us within that feeling of fear. And so the only thing we have to not do is resist it and freeze up. That's when fear becomes a problem. It's when we're in resistance to that fear and it locks us up and we can't think straight, we can't do anything, we can't act, we just feel confused or lost or frozen. That's when fear is a problem. But that's not the fear itself, it's us deciding that fear is a problem and choosing to clam up around it. But if fear is allowed to do what it's there for, like, just redefine the word fear in your head. Don't hear the word fear and think bad, fear bad, fear bad. It's not. Like, fear is just a word, it's a label for an experience in our body. Start to redefine the word fear as power, fear as excitement, fear as drive, fear as power, and see how that changes how you respond to things you're afraid of. Because the fight or flight is a power. It's a powerful response in our body. And so fear is either there to get away from danger if we in fact need to, or it's there to propel us into something we need to do. So it's always a power. And all we need to do is learn not to freeze. That's the thing. And freezing comes from resistance. Resistance locks us up. If we allow the feeling of fear, if we allow the traits that we're resisting that we think are negative, we just allow them to be, because they already are. Resisting them doesn't negate the fact that they exist. If we allow them to be, then we get to learn from them and get to experience them in their fullness, and none of them are inherently negative, so that when we experience the fullness, we realize how powerful that is. And so fear, when it comes up, allow it, don't be in resistance, allow it to power you into what you know you need to do. And so that's why I always say, like, go towards your fears. Your fears are a signal of where you should be heading a lot of the time. Unless it's actually dangerous and it's telling you head the other way or head a different way, most of the time fears are sort of a signal of, like, that's where we should be going, that thing we're afraid of that's hidden behind the fear. And let it power you towards that. Let it give you the drive to actually go do that thing. And we get to choose what we do with the feelings in our bodies. We get to choose what we do with the emotion and the feeling and the agitation, and I say, and I've said a few times recently, like, am I afraid or am I excited? Notice how that has a very similar feel in your body, and it's just how we interpret it. Excitement is anticipating that something's going to be positive, whereas fear is anticipating that something's going to be negative. So let's scrap that distinction and just go fear or excitement. I'm feeling this in my body. Let it propel me forward. Let me anticipate that this is going to be amazing, because I get to choose. I get to choose how I respond to this. I get to choose how I shape my life. I get to choose how any situation affects me, and what interpretation or meaning I put on it. So fear is powerful, fear is power, and let it propel you into where you want to go.